What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDontWorkHereLady. This story's called Jumping into the Wrong Moving Car. I was reminded of this story from a few posts here about getting into the wrong cars. This is honestly one of the funniest things I have ever witnessed. So, one day after work, my buddy and I planned to go play some disc golf. He asked me to pick him up on the way. Some helpful background info here. We were both college students at the time, and I was driving a silver minivan. Also, my friend, let's call him Brad, is a pretty big stoner and can be an idiot at times. Anyway, I was on my way over to pick him up, and while stopped at a light a block or two away, I texted him that I was about to pull up. So Brad goes to stand by the street to wait for me. Light turns green, I go forward and turn on his street. Right as I'm turning, I see an identical silver minivan driving down the street about 100 feet in front of me. I also see Brad by the street, watching this other minivan approach, slowly walking towards it. Immediately, I know he is thinking it is me. Knowing Brad is stoned and impulsive, knows something is gonna go down. Unfortunately for the other minivan driver, he wasn't driving very fast and also had his windows rolled down. So, naturally, Brad, not looking too closely, thinks it's me messing with him by not slowing down, and he proceeds to start sprinting at this car and jumps headfirst through the open passenger side window. Oh, I'm sorry. I cannot believe what I just witnessed and stopped my car, doubling over in laughter as half of Brad is still sticking out of this car as it slams to a halt. And he finishes squirming his legs into the seat. He then finally looks up at the driver and goes, "Oh, you're not OP." The driver happened to be some poor high school kid, looking on in shock and terror at this crazy looking college kid reeking of weed jumped into his window. Not sure if he said anything as Brad opens the door, gets out, apologizes, and sees me sitting in my car laughing my butt off 50 feet behind him. Oh my god, oh my god. You just see a freaking stoned dude just dive through with this other person's Oh my gosh, I don't know what, okay, this just makes me imagine like GTA Vice City style animation of this dude. Oh my god. This story's called, She Doesn't Work Here? I Do. Well, this was an interesting day. Today was my day off, and I work retail. However, I had some items my coworkers asked me to find them to deliver since they came in the night before. So I head up to the store I work at. I was delivering items to coworkers on the way. Lotion for this person, some hard-to-find hair dye for that person, and most of the people were hard-to-find snacks. I was almost to the section of the store I worked at when I heard my one coworker say my name. "Come on, this is funny. Can you stop pretending to be someone else?" my coworker said. I walked up and was quite surprised. There was a woman who was my exact match. She didn't dress like me, but when I heard her speak, she sounded just like me. "I haven't a clue what you're talking about. I don't know you. I'm a customer. I do not work here," said my doppelganger. I strolled up to the conversation quickly before my coworker could make a bigger fool of herself. "Darn tootin', 'cause I do," I said, smirking and waving the basket which I was carrying things in. My coworker's face went into this confused look that was just too funny to see. "If you are, that means she is, but," started my coworker. "I told you I have at least 30 doppelgangers in this area alone. I am so not original," I told my coworker. 30? cried my doppelganger. "Yep, guess you haven't seen them. One of them works at the Ren Fair, another is a second-hand shop owner, the florist one is kinda cool, but the one who always wears this pearl-looking necklace you should avoid. She is mean," I said, laughing still. "I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. I thought you were her. I'm such an idiot," said my coworker, sighing. My doppelganger laughed now herself. "It is cool. I always wanted to have a twin. Now I know where to find one. Didn't know I had 30 to pick from. "Can you help me now? I really want to buy these things," she said, holding up a basket of items. She got rung up. I gave her a cookie from my basket of goodies before she went on her merry way. I hope to see her again soon. She was nice. I read about this in a prophecy once. Legends say if she gathers all 30, they will be an unstoppable force. And I mean unstoppable. But that's actually really crazy to have that many people that look just like you in such a small area. Like, we gotta get the statistics in that. Like, how unlikely is that? Anyway, that's cool. This story's called "Please Get Out of My Car." I've been reading a few stories on here about people getting into cars that aren't their Uber, and it reminded me of my own. This happened a little while ago. I was outside a bar waiting for my boyfriend to pick me up, driving my car, and I see this girl stumbling out of the bar, heading towards the road. At the same time, I see my car pull up and head towards it, but quickly stop as this girl opens the passenger door of my car and gets in. Now, my poor boyfriend is so confused and is just staring at me through the windscreen being like, "What the fuck do I do?" And he tells her that this is not her Uber and that he's picking up his girlfriend. This chick is adamant, however, saying this is definitely her Uber because, she ordered one and this had to be it. By this point, I'm standing at the passenger side door telling her that she's in the wrong car. But she's now refusing to get out and telling my boyfriend to take her home. People are starting to come out of the bar and are watching the scene unfold. I'm at my wit's end because she's making a scene and telling me to go get your own Uber. And my boyfriend is yelling at her to get out. Finally, her actual Uber rocks up. She gets the notification and awkwardly stumbles out of my car. No apology or anything, and they drive away. To this day, I still find this so bizarre and hilarious. Oh my gosh, okay, yeah, that story's funny and all, but that's really scary. I really think that girl should not be out drinking alone because maybe next time she walks into a stranger's car without confirming that it's her Uber, it might not turn out so well. But anyways, guys, please be careful if you're getting drunk out of your mind because, careful guys, careful, jeez. This story's called "Today I Fudged Up by Flashing My Neighbors." Okay, so this pretty much just happened, and if anyone wants to come over and kill me, I'll gladly take you up on that because oh my god. Some backstory because context is really important here. First off, I am a writer. Definitely not professionally, and I know I'm not good enough to ever actually publish anything or make a career out of it, but it's a hobby I enjoy, even if I can never finish a story. Now, when I write, I do so laying in bed, propped up on pillows. I know it's bad for my back, but don't at me. And I do so very much naked. I still have underpants on, but that's literally it. The tatas are out. I started doing this because I hated the way my bra clasps dug into my back in that position, then kept doing it because I found that, for some reason, my creative energy flows better when the ladies are free. It might just be a placebo effect, but whatever gets rid of writer's block, I'll take it. So, a day or so ago, I ran into the girl who lives in the room next to me, who I'll call Emma. Emma had gotten hit with some ambiguous cold flu symptoms, and me being the desperate for approval little gardening tool that I am, mentioned that I had decongestants and stuff back in my room. I handed her a pill, she thanked me profusely, and I told her that if she ever needed more, she could just ask and I'd try to help. Well, fast forward to tonight. Classes ended hours ago. I just finished slurping down questionable cup ramen because the campus cafeteria wasn't serving anything I can really eat, and I decide I want to try hammering out that first contact scene in one of the two stories I have open. This scene has been giving me grief for days, even though I have a very clear idea in my head of the physicality and mindsets of the characters I'm trying to describe. So, because this has been giving me so much trouble, I pull out the big guns and strip down to my underpants, hoping that my now unbound toddies will give me the power I need to get through the scene. You probably already know where this is going, but please allow me a bit more explanation first so that I can really try to drive home the fact that I am not, in fact, some kind of flasher or voyeur or whatever. Back when I was at home, my mother came and went from my room pretty much as she pleased. She'd knock once, then walk in the second I made any noise, regardless of what state of dress I was in. I mean, she was my mom. Why would she care? I got so used to her walking in while I was writing that it didn't really register to me anymore. Cut back to tonight. I'm naked, hunched over my laptop, glaring at the blinking cursor on a still annoyingly blank page when I hear a knock on my door. It's been a long day. No one has ever come by my room here before. I'm hyper-focused on my writing, such that everything else is either completely ignored or handled on autopilot. The knock comes again. My addled brain supplies me with nothing more than the passing thought of, "Oh, it's Mom!" Completely standard, I think. Nothing of importance. "Come in," I grunt. The door swings open. "Hey, sorry to bother you again, but The voice cuts off. The voice, which was decidedly not my mother's. That disconnect is enough to snap my attention back to the present. My mother isn't here. I'm not at home. Instead, I'm on a college campus 16 hours away. And the person who just spoke was my neighbor, Emma. My neighbor who is staring at me with a rapidly reddening face. I look down, still more than a bit slow, only to discover that I am, indeed, still very much naked. My stomach drops straight out of my body and into a free dive worthy of an Olympic medal. "Sorry," Emma squeaks, bolting away. In her haste, she slams the door, but doesn't manage to latch it, because these dorms are old as hell and require a bit of fussing to latch properly. So instead of closing, the door bounces back open, leaving me and my whole scene completely exposed. Outside, a girl who was studying looks up, curious about Emma's outburst. She blinks. She does a double take. I am just barely able to close the door in time to prevent the girl who comes around the corner then from being the third witness to my foolishness. It's been like 2 hours since then, and I've spent those 2 hours trying out various chants to the old gods in hopes that one will appear and swallow me whole. All attempts thus far have been unsuccessful. I live with these people. Emma lives literally right next door to me. It's not like I can realistically avoid her. As it stands so far, my options are as follows. 1. Kill Emma and the second witness so that none can live to tell this tale. Or 2. Just stay holed up in here in my room until I eventually die. Oh, honey. Well, option 1 is no longer available given the fact that you just told this story. But yes, casual nudity when you're alone will be your downfall because you will eventually get too comfortable being naked that you will forget that you're naked. And just in case you don't believe me, Exhibit A right here, guys and girls. In all seriousness, I don't think this is that big of a deal unless she makes it a big deal. Everyone's only gonna feel awkward about it if you are awkward about it. It might be a little too late to come out of the situation without buckets of awkwardness. If she acted swiftly, put on her clothes, and went outside laughing and been like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I forgot that I was naked," and just explain what you just explained to us, and laugh about it. If you screw up and it's kinda silly for the other person, just laugh about it and be like, "Ha ha ha," they won't think it's that big of a deal. It won't be awkward, it'll just be funny. They'll laugh about it with you as opposed to laughing about you behind your back. Anyways, that's what I usually do. I laugh about it and everything ends up going well. People just laugh about it with you and it's all in good fun because you'll think it's funny too. Anyways, that's my advice. This story's called, "Today I fudged up by thinking my Welsh-English bilingual boyfriend was having a stroke. I caused a car crash." I've been him for roughly a month and I knew he spoke Welsh fluently, but I've never heard him or anyone speak Welsh. We're driving to his friends and he's on a call with one of his friends, so I'm just sat on my phone, relaxing, enjoying the hills. Well, he suddenly starts speaking Welsh and flinging his arms around, apparently having some sort of an argument. I've never heard Welsh before and, to be honest, it sounded more like lots of slurring. I legitimately thought he was having a stroke, so I grabbed the steering wheel. He did the exact same thing, but in the opposite direction. He outstrengthened me, we spun around on the road and came to a stop. He was so confused as to why I randomly grabbed the wheel. I explained the situation and now his Welsh family and friends are having a great laugh at my mono-language self. Boo! Clickbait! There's no car crash. I mean, thankfully no car crash, but still, come on! You caused a spin out! And that's really funny. Just this dude speaking Welsh and she's like, stroke! But anyways, Welsh people, you need to be careful when you're driving someone who doesn't speak Welsh because they will freak out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.